Well, did you want to give a greeting as well?
I would be happy to give a greeting.
But you go second because I get to do this.
Okay,
Sorry.
I will go second.
I'm gonna use my executive powers.
Absolutely. Go for it.
And there's a good reason for that. I call it my magic superintendent one. I don't use it very often, but I want you to hear the difference. So if you were teaching or principaling or educating at some point, you did a lot of this to get everybody hearing you and big room, and now through the magic of technology we have this. And so I wanted you to hear that, and I asked your speaker today to use this because a lot of times what we first heard when we tried to get teachers to use it, they have a lanyard and a smaller version of this. This is what you can use with students, but it goes around your neck and you turn it on, and there are speakers. It's not just making it louder. There are speakers all over in the room so the sound is present, and that is easier on our teacher voices, and that helps every child in the classroom access instruction because you're not the one right here getting yelled at who's sitting in front of you, and you're not the one in the back who can't hear. And so this went in during COVID when we had our ESSER dollars. This was one of the enhancements that we brought in, so every single school, every classroom, libraries have this technology. And so that's something that we're really proud of, and many schools now across the whole nation have that. So a good enhancement, one good thing. The company that we get it from is called Audio Enhancement. And so it's just an amplification system that is sound presence rather than sound volume. Yeah. They also have some other neat products that we're looking at where you can tie in a whole security thing to this. If you get really fancy, some schools have tied in video that the teacher activates with a button. So if they want to watch themselves and do kind of the, like football plays, do an analysis of the game, you can do that. We can use the technology out of the learning lab when we have a guest speaker. If we want to capture them and hold that video for people who may not have been able to be there, then we can do that, and it will follow you. So if you walk around, the camera will just automatically follow you. Never replacing Ben, of course, on the camera back there. Sorry, Ben, but really some neat features for our teachers. I said a few times, I don't understand why sometimes the perception that teaching has gotten harder, and some things are, but when many of us were teaching, we still had to type our own worksheets and take them down to the machine and crank it and fill it with the liquid that turned out the purple worksheets, and we had to make all of our bulletin boards. And I sound like real old school when I say those things, but everything now is truly available at the touch of a button or a click. And so some things get easier, some things are still difficult because we still work with human beings, and that typically is the more tricky side at times, and the joyful side. So with that, we are really glad you're here because we're going to tell you about another wonderful enhancement to our district, which is our community learning centers, and Deanne is going to tell you about the whole show up for their future piece. But this is another way that we add value to our community is through our after-school programs. And one of the things that we wanted and needed to do as a district was to have a more solid framework that guides the work that we do in those after-school programs. So it isn't just come in and run around the gym and lose your mind and have a snack. It's a structured way of doing things with providers in our community where they come in and provide really quality programming. So you'll have a presentation on that today, and we're just glad you're here. So with that, I'm going to now turn it over to Deanne, our wonderful organizer and person who you all get to talk with often. Thanks.
These are among my best friends out here.
Yep.
Always enjoy seeing everyone, and thanks for making time to come and learn about some of the new programs we have going on in the Sioux Falls School District. And this, yes, is one of the great enhancements, and it's amazing when how many of you were teachers?
Yay.
Okay, 4 or 5 in this group here. Half of you were teachers, and who would have liked to have had a tool such as this to capture the attention of those who maybe their minds wandered a little bit, or they were, you know, engaged in something else besides the content of the day. But just a simple tool that can really keep students engaged and interacting in a positive way. So grateful to be able to show this to you. Before we get too far down the line, I do want to say thank you to our host today. Jamie Bell is the principal at Robert Frost. Jamie, you want to come up this direction so we don't have to have them looking over the shoulder. And Jamie, maybe if you would just tell a little bit about your student population here, how many students you have, how many teachers, and maybe about one or two things going on today, because there are one or two things happening here.
Absolutely, yes. We have a unique school and a unique schools underneath this roof here. So we have two schools underneath one roof. So we are Robert Frost and Challenge Center under this roof. So we have Robert Frost, which is the neighborhood school. We have kindergarten through 5th grade. And then we have Challenge Center, which is the highly gifted students in the entire school district, grades 2 through 5. Additionally, we have junior kindergarten as well. We also have what we call LAPOP. And LAPOP stands for Learning Adventure Preschool Opportunity Program, which is a preschool program, which is a learning adventure program and a preschool opportunity program. And those are ages 3 through 5. So with all of those programs, we have about 600 kids that come to Robert Frost Challenge Center. So that is what happens underneath Robert Frost in this building. So we are lucky enough to have all of those kiddos come to this school.
How many years have you been here?
Well, that is a unique question. This is my 3rd year as a principal here at Robert Frost. However, I had left Robert Frost for 3 years to be an assistant principal at Garfield. But before that, I was an assistant principal for 2 years here. And then before that, I was an instructional coach for 7 years here. So when I came back as a principal, it was like coming home. So it was a wonderful back coming home. So, but today is an exciting time because we do have CLC in the building, which is not just Robert Frost Challenge Center kids. We have students here from Garfield, Laura Wilder, All City, I believe that's it. So we have students from a mixture of different buildings here today for kind of a, since school is closed, we have students here from many different schools. But then also we have parent-teacher conferences happening this afternoon and this evening. But this morning we had professional learning in this building, or this room actually was filled with teachers. And we were learning about teacher clarity and professional learning communities. So our teachers were engaged in learning this morning. So it was quite a fun-filled day, and we've been, it's been an active morning already. And now our teachers are engaged with their families in their classrooms today. So I'm sorry about the parking if you ended up having to walk a couple blocks to get here, but our families are parked out there as well. So thank you for taking the time to come. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Questions about our building at all?
Does anybody have any questions?
I'm going to sneak away to join a few conferences if that's okay. It was great to meet you.
I can't imagine that you're busy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Yes, and can you imagine when we called and said, hey, how about adding one more thing to your day?
Well, we're glad that you're here.
And she welcomed us with open arms, so we're grateful for that. Just want to make mention of a couple more things going on in the district. In August, we did some media about our Show Up campaign for student attendance. Student attendance nationwide has been a topic and an issue always, but especially since COVID, where we've had a number of students who are just not attending routinely and fall into the chronically absence category. And that, of course, you know, if a child is not in school, it's difficult for them to learn, to be able to build on those foundational skills from 1 year or 1 day to the next, let alone 1 year to the next. So it's very important that we get families and our entire community on board with the need for school attendance. And that seems sort of like a no-brainer. But today's families have a lot of things that they're juggling. They may be juggling, food insecurity, lack of housing, illnesses, mental illnesses, they don't have a car. There might be any number of challenges that are out there that stand as barriers between a student getting to school and choosing to just not go that particular day. This, of course, is concerning to us. We want these children to be in school. We believe they deserve to have every educational opportunity available to them. And so we were awarded a $1.5 million grant from the state of South Dakota Department of Education to tackle attendance and the challenges that we have in the Sioux Falls School District. The bulk of that $1.5 million over the 3-year period of the grant is being spent on attendance liaisons. So we've hired people who act as role models, mentors, coaches, literally knocking on doors, talking to families about why it is their child is not attending, giving rides if necessary, setting up attendance contracts and trying to help the family see the value of attending on a regular basis. And so we have 6 attendance liaisons that joined us a year and a half ago. And while we have not saved every child just yet, we're working hard at that. And they are making a difference. They are connecting with families, building relationships, because we know that relationships are so key for a student to feel like they're welcomed here, that they're wanted, needed as part of the educational environment, and that they can get something out of it. And so we've been doing really difficult work, but it's been successful to the extent that we're getting more students who were chronically absent are now attending. We have a lot of work to do. We are not going to be done with that work at the end of the 3-year grant. But we keep chipping away, and we're trying to get families resources that they need in our community in order to reduce those barriers of student attendance. So that's one of the ways that we're spending the $1.5 million. We meet every month to hear of the challenges of our attendance liaisons, the successes that they've experienced. And I attend those meetings, and there was a meeting last Wednesday, and I will tell you that the 6 people hired for those positions are among the top people in this community with the largest hearts. They are not going to give up on kids. They are, if they need to knock on the door and no one answers, they'll knock on the window. If they don't come to the window, they'll honk a horn. So they do not want to give up on kids, and they are the perfect people to be out developing those relationships and establishing a connection so that our students feel and see the importance of attendance at school. So that's one of the key things that we're spending the $1.5 million on. A small portion of that is being spent on some campaign materials which we developed, Show Up for Their Future. We want the community to be able to join us in this conversation. We know it's difficult to ask a child or to say, well, why aren't you in school? Who can guess what an answer might be today? Mind your own business, something like that, right? But if we can have the conversation without making it feel threatening, again, we're trying to build relationships, right? So we're talking in a positive tone. We're saying, hey, when you show up, here's what you get. And we have a lot of people in our community that show up for kids. I am a mentor. I show up for my student. I show up for my job. You've showed up here today to learn about the school district. So we're trying to turn the conversation around from being the negative, why haven't you, whatever, rather to say, you know, when we show up, we gain something, and we want you to show up as well. And so that's the conversation starter we're trying to get ingrained in our community. And one of the ways that folks show up, we have 4 community partners who are part of our community learning centers. And that is a great way that our community, our mentors in the community, young adults who are college age looking for work, they are working at the community learning center, showing up for kids and showing them that they have a future. By just attending, there's a lot of opportunities available to them. So Paul Kaiser showed up. Paul is, what is your title?
Director.
Director of the Community Learning Centers. Paul joined us 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
About 2 years ago now. When this concept was just really an idea, and Paul has developed the program and created the product that we have here today. He's going to share with you about the community learning centers. Some of you may remember this program previously known as Kids Inc. Does anybody remember the name of that? Kids Inc., right? So that was around since I started in the district, which was nearly 20 years ago already. It was known as Kids Inc. It was the after-school program and the out-of-school time program. And there are some similar components to it, but I would say community learning centers are much more inclusive of our community, and Paul's going to share that with you. He's going to tell you a little bit about how we got to where we are today. So please help me welcome Paul.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and hearing about the Community Learning Center. Just like Dan just said, we took the program over from Kids Inc., but through this I'll share why we did that, what the transition looked like, and how it's benefited elementary age kids. But the Community Learning Center, while heavily visible at the elementary age, it's working to expand middle school, high school, and really linking some of the families in the community. But the Community Learning Center is intertwined in a lot of the district priorities. And so the district priorities: academic excellence, well-being, community engagement, college career readiness, and professional development. And we are in different pieces of all of that. What is a community learning center? So all it is, and Dr. Staven mentioned it earlier, we are a public school, and we tie into the community to bring in resources and services for kids in our school buildings. And with the pillars of, one, we're going to integrate student supports. We're going to, as Deanne mentioned, we're going to try to care for the whole child. We're going to provide resources. We're going to try to knock down barriers for kids attending, to kids, having access and whatnot. We're going to expand and enrich learning opportunities, which is our out-of-school time programming. We are going to engage families and really try to have really inclusive decision-making and try to learn, what do the families in our community need? How can we support them? And so really just hearing from them and really engaging them. And so with the mission to meet the needs of the whole child, strengthen families, and steward community resources through trusted partnerships, okay? And I'll skip to this here because these are our partners in our elementary age program. And so elementary age out of school time programming, we transitioned from Kids Inc. And Kids Inc. was a fee for service after school time program, meaning parents were able to pay, okay, and we also received support from child care assistance from the state of South Dakota. At that time, we were serving about 7% of the kids that were in the after-school time program were receiving child care support. So heavily fee-based, okay? But then in 2018, Augustana research found that a third of our elementary age kids were going home outside of school with no supervision. So between 4,000 and 5,000 kids with no care after school. Okay, why? Because they couldn't afford it. It was out of school time programming was just not accessible. They didn't have just the transportation and the other means to be able to be a part of those different programs. And so, meanwhile, the free and reduced lunch, okay, in the school district was, I think, somewhere around 40-some%, okay? So really just did not match up with the model that we had in Kids Inc., okay? And so, meanwhile, the community is also running programs. They're driving their vehicles to the schools, the kids are going back to their agencies, and we're transporting them all back and forth, okay? And so, agencies are running their programs. They are receiving some support from different grants and other things like that, but we're putting all that money into transportation, okay? And so coming up with the model of why partner, okay, is because one, by eliminating transportation, we're able to take those resources and put them back into kids, okay? The agencies were able to repurpose a lot of the buildings that they were using, and so overhead costs for their programs. So we were able to change a lot of that and have those kids here, okay? Kids Inc. on an annual basis served about 1,200 unique students. Last year, in our first year, we served 2,200, okay? And so we were able to expand our services by 1,000 kids in 1 year. And we started the year with that, actually plus about 50 kids here in our second year. And so we are well on our way to continuing to be able to support more and more kids. Simultaneously, so mentioned earlier, private fee-based programming and also child care assistance. Now 37%-ish of our kids are on child care assistance. Meanwhile, about half of our kids in our program are receiving some type of scholarship, okay? And so how are we doing that? We were also able to get donor dollars to be able to support those. So now our funding model is private fee-based, child care assistance, grants, and then we have private donor dollars to be able to support more kids. Okay, so it's more of a blended funding model that that is in place versus just all being private fee-based. So
when you increased the participation, did that include the kids that were in those private programs?
So it did include those kids, but they were only, because of the transportation piece, they were also seeing that they weren't able to support as many kids just because they pick up a van of 16 kids, right? And so 16 or multiple vans. So they weren't serving the volume of kids that they're serving now either. So does that kind of make sense? Just because of that transportation piece. So, but yes, those kids are in this program. So yeah, if you took the Kids Inc. plus theirs, we're probably still serving 800 to 900 more kids than we were previously. So, any other questions? A great question. So I talked about the enrollment numbers. The other piece that we did run a summer program here, and Kids Inc. did run a summer program as well, but what we were, previously they supported about 400 kids during the summertime, and now we supported about 1,200 kids last year. Previously did 2 sites. We were up to 10 sites this summer. So. Now that, those partners of YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, MB, Volunteers of America, they are the ones that are implementing the base program. Okay? They're the ones that are meeting child care child care laws through the state. They're the ones that are managing all of that. And then what we do is continue to layer on top of it. So you're going to get a tour here today of what the program would look like, but then what you'll see is there'll be some additional community supports here. So things that we do is, so Dakota Alliance will be here today. So we bring them in after school. Kids get soccer lessons and all those different pieces. SDSU Nutrition will come in. We had Zumba yesterday at 3 of our sites for the kids. So people that are businesses that are already doing that in the community, they're coming into the school now and they're running the programs that they excel at for the kids at each of those locations. And this is our enhancement strategy. I won't go through each one, but we are trying to really help the kids and extend that school day, and a lot of those things that they'll see during the school day we're trying to work on afterwards. And a perfect example would be at one of our locations, we recognized that some of our kids needed support in Dreambox, and so we would bring those programs into the out of school, okay, and work with those kids after school as well to support the in-school day. So many of the same things that you see during the school day. With the goal of reaching improving school attendance, program participation, academic performance, behavior events. We have tutors at all of our locations, and then reaching parent engagement rates as well. Now this is some of the brief data, and I know it's really blurry because it was a screenshot, but I'll try to just walk you through it. But basically, in the last year, we were able to capture some of the kids that were in part of the program. What we did was we compared them to their previous year if they were school age. Okay, and last year we found, if you compared last year to the year before, okay, 55% of our kids improved their tardy rates, 65% improved absenteeism, only 10% improved their behaviors. Obviously there's a lot to go with that. Okay, 100% improved their, either stayed the same or improved on learning behaviors. 94% improved their math scores, and 86% improved on their reading. So just some initial data there to show that by extending the school day, we can benefit those kids. We continue to get into the world of before school care. We sent out some polls, and we have before school care at one of our locations, and it's very well attended. We're going to try to continue to extend that to all of our schools. The challenges with that is staffing, so continue to work through that. Marcelo Lebeau will be opening in the 25-26 school year, so that'll be our 23rd Community Learning Center site. And middle school, we will continue to expand into those, and our goal is to be able to run some pilot programs in the 25-26 school year, utilizing a very similar type of program as we do in the elementary. One difference to that is at McGovern that you guys will see is there's a 14,000 square foot facility built onto the south side of McGovern that will be used as an after school program, and it'll be the first Boys and Girls Club to be built onto a school. So you'll see that opening in 25-26. It's pretty neat, the space, how they're building that out. So middle schools and high schools. So currently they do have interest clubs at both middle school and high school. How do we support them? Is those established clubs already, we reach out to them and we try to bridge the community back to them. And so an example of that would be, let's go, middle school, okay, let's say they have a Stomp Club, okay, which is a version of some type of art, dance, and what we do is we'll reach out to the community, okay, bring in individuals that have also been doing Stomp and dance, and we bring them in to support those middle school programs. So Family listening sessions. This is what I talked about as the kind of the shared decision making and trying to learn what the community needs, what our students need, what our families need. We will be running 22 family listening sessions this year through the Community Learning Center, so really trying to engage our families. We are also supporting our high schools through job shadows in a lot of ways, and so that's how do we reached out to our high school counselors. We work together with them to be able to get our students into different career opportunities. So, and then last year we ran 3 health and wellness fairs that you may have seen. So we brought in at 3 of our locations, we brought in roughly 70 vendors to support our families in Terry Redland community, SBA, and we also ran at Oscar Howe. And so 70 vendors supported nearly about 200 families at each of those events in different things, whether that's hearing tests or vaccinations or just different types of educational pieces. So, and that's what I have for the Community Learning Center presentation. Any questions that you guys have about what the Community Learning Center is or how it's progressed in 1 year?
So you're at all the elementaries?
We are at all the elementaries except for Horace Mann at this time. At Horace Mann, there's a little bit more. That's the best. So behaviors and things like that are at Horace Mann, and just because we just don't have the. We're sorry, we're not at Horace Mann. So.
Yeah, Horace Mann moved from being, maybe I'll use that.
I don't know how to describe.
Yeah. Horace Mann moved, 6 or 8 years ago, from being a neighborhood elementary to being served for students who have severe behavior issues that need a smaller class environment. So those students from the Horace Mann neighborhood, which is 26th Street, just east of Cliff Avenue, they were reassigned several years ago, some to Cleveland and some to, I believe, Rosa Parks. So it's not a neighborhood school any longer. It's where our second it's not second, it's kindergarten through second, third through fifth, students who have behavior challenges are worked with there at that building and on more of a one-on-one basis, small group basis. So that's our elementary school where students from across the district who need special intervention for behavior challenges go there for a short amount of time with the complete goal of getting them back to their traditional schools. So reestablishing the educational norms so that they're able to be learning in a classroom environment again, along with their neighborhood folks, again, neighborhood students and classmates. So yeah, that's one location that we don't have the after-school program. That program has a shortened day also. So students arrive in the morning, they have intensive interventions for behaviors, and then they have a shorter day as well. Any other questions for Paul?
So is there like a gym available, is that kind of thing every day?
Yeah, talk through the schedule maybe.
Absolutely. So at the elementaries, yes, we have a gym, and then we also work in the multi-purpose room, and then obviously the playgrounds. We also, at the library, we can go into the libraries and different classrooms, but the schools are licensed through the state to be able to support after-school programs. So we have to go through a licensing standard at each of the schools. So there's a whole bunch of things that go into that with the state based on size of locations, is how many kids you can serve and whatnot. We are eligible to serve a lot of schools with the kids. You know, now it's the things of, you know, adding kids by staffing, adding kids by support and whatnot. So, but yes, there are gyms available that I get to go into every day. So what does the schedule look like? After school, kids come to the multi-purpose room. They're able to get a snack that is served by child nutrition. The kids will then go into their different age groups, and some go to the gym, some go to the library, some go to out into the playground, but then they'll rotate based on whatever type of activities they have that day. So
the library is the mentoring part?
So
Tutoring.
the tutoring part, yes, we do have classroom. So depending on what school and time of the year, yes, there's a tutoring part, but usually we have classrooms or the library for that. Yeah. So
everyone's eligible? Is there any kind of limit at all?
everyone is eligible. We have to, through the state of South Dakota, we have, for every one staff that we have, we can serve 15 kids. So that is our biggest rate limiting step on being able to serve kids. And so we are constantly seeking staff that want to work in the out of school time program. And so based on that, we can add. Yeah.
Who are you trying to get for staff? Maybe talk about some of our.
So we are trying to, for staff, we're trying to get anyone that's passionate about serving kids. So we can have anyone between 14 and 18 can work in this space with other supervision. Okay, so they're able to, as long as they're within someone in the majority, they can serve kids and serve in ratio. So, but otherwise, we have college students, we have high school kids, and anyone that's really looking to serve.
Some of our teachers.
Even some of our teachers, some of our
education
assistants, and so it's been awesome.
That's what, like 2 hours after school?
Usually school ends about 2:45, and we have care till 6.
How many out of school days do you have sessions like this?
Great question. So what you'll see today is called an extended care day. We have there's 19 of them, where if school's not in session, then we provide care from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. On those days. And this is really kind of a lot of like what our summer would look like. Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. During the summer hours. So.
But you said there's no transportation, so the parents have to get them there, or they have to walk or what?
Correct. Yeah. So the parents pick them up here, or they just come right here after school. Or are you talking in the summer? Yeah, it's drop. Yeah, it's drop off, pick up. Yeah, there is no transportation for elementary.
So during the school year, they're just staying at their home location, their school location, and then like a parent maybe would drop them off. The parent would drop them off in the morning for school. Then that parent would pick them up at the end of the day, whether they get off work at maybe it's 4 o'clock or 5:30 or whatever. They could pick up at the end of the day. Transportation though on the non-school days, that is by parent.
Correct.
Parent pick up and drop off.
But I know a lot of kids take the bus to school.
Correct.
So then their parents have to get them home.
Correct.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
So Linda asked about eligibility, but is there do some families pay for this and some not, or how does that work?
Child care assistance will support up to 209% of poverty. Okay, and so that's on a sliding fee. After 209%, okay, we are able to support kids through private donor dollars up to 300% of poverty. And so it's all on a sliding fee based on where the family income's at.
So how much is it if you were at like a max payment?
The max
What's the most people pay?
The most people would pay if you did not qualify for anything. Yep, it would be $190 every 2 weeks.
Other questions?
And that so that like today, a full day of care from that includes the full day of care. Yeah, so it's after school and the extended care days. So.
I know just in our community, there's been a lot of talk about child care, lack of, and how that makes it difficult for families to work and that kind of thing. So this is one of the programs that our community has rallied around in order to serve more families. And because we do have this sliding fee scale based on income, hopefully we're able to, get care to the families who need it out there in a way that no longer than does the agency like MB, VOA, YMCA, and Boys and Girls Club no longer have to come here with a van, pick kids up, take them back to another building somewhere else in the community to serve them after school, but rather they stay at their home location. Those agencies come here to provide the service using those dollars that were previously used for transportation to really infuse back into the students themselves instead of spending it on mileage back and forth, wasting time, gas, resources. So this is a partnership of huge proportions. It takes a lot of community members, all of those agencies have a board that they're answering to. They have their own interests that they're established, their own priorities and goals and things like that. So this was a huge shift, not only for the Sioux Falls School District, but also for our partner agencies in the community to say what challenges or what can we do to reduce the number of challenges that are the families that we're serving, that they are experiencing. And so being able to bring those agencies together and really doing it for the good of all kids and not for the good of one organization or another organization or this organization, but really looking at doing it for the benefit of families, stability, and kids, giving them the most that we can give them for the money that's being spent anyway. So, and that educational component, I think one of the things we're going to see is that, yes, this is a fun after school and out of school time experience, but everything that these kids are learning is still tied back to the curriculum. And so their learning is extending beyond the school day. They're having fun doing experiments and doing things that their class probably didn't have time to do during a traditional 45-minute class period, if you will. So one of the things that you all are going to experience today is one of those lessons that the kids are learning. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, about what's going to be done, or who's in charge of that?
It was Tara.
Oh, that's Tara.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
At what poverty level does it switch from 0 to paying?
209%. So that's actually what we call the cliff. okay? And that's what I can go into that if you want to, but.
Yeah, he probably knows.
Yeah. So at 209% is the big flip, and so you know, a family of 4 who's making $40,000, if that person or if that family now makes $40,100, they switch from paying, well, okay, ours is $190 a week. You know, they're paying that in full. So, or sorry, not a week, bi-weekly. So if they were now 210%, they went from paying $45 a month, or sorry, $45 a month to paying $400. So
who paid the $45?
209%.
Or they paid $49?
Yep.
I thought I was asking when does the switch from 0 to something?
0.
So
Do they pay any? Do you have some families that pay 0?
yes, if about 180% of, yeah. So
how does also it work to have these agencies like say MB? They wouldn't have staff to be at all the schools every day. Do they rotate around with their projects?
great question. Yeah, so MB has, each of the agencies have different schools that they're assigned to. So like Robert Frost is run by Volunteers of America.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah.
So they each have an agreed upon number of schools that they serve.
Oh.
So there might be, one agency might serve 4 to 5 schools, and that's where their staff then would come after school and provide that after school care.
Oh.
So if you are a VOA school like Robert Frost is, it's always a VOA school.
Oh.
And it's always a YMCA school or an MB school. So those people aren't traveling about. They are consistently showing up at the school that's been assigned to that particular agency. And again, that was a collaborative effort just to get everybody on the same page and say, okay, which schools are you going to take? Which schools are we going to take? And so there's a lot of agreeing that had to go on in those early days, trying to establish the program. So.
But the activities are sort of similar among all the schools, it's just they provide the staffing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And same with the enhancements, the other enhancements. So Dakota Alliance might be here today, but then they might be at Terry Redland tomorrow. So.
There's the Boys and Girls Club right off of 57th and kind of western,
Yeah.
that area. Do they just do the little tots?
The little tots, yeah.
They don't
Yep,
do it?
not school age, that's not school age care, no. Any other questions?
I was just curious, where is that new LeBeau Elementary going in? Is it out of that northwest area that's being?
The very northwest area,
expanding?
yep, right next to the McGovern Middle School, yep.
On the same plat of land, we have McGovern, which is West Maple and Valley View, if you will. McGovern's on that intersection. And then there's a fire station just down the hill off of Maple, and the elementary is just south of there. So it will be one of those sites that we work with the city, so they'll have a city park in there as well. So very much similar to how you see Memorial Middle School and Discovery Elementary, taking up that entire big block, if you will, and having a park in there as well that is part of the city. So that's how that will look out there. It's gorgeous. It's, you know, a little bit of rolling hill out there, and it's quite pretty. So. Any other questions?
I think we'll be moving to the, actually going to hang out with the kiddos and get to see a tour, right? Is that the next steps, or?
I think that's correct.
Well, you talked about the transition of, you know, having the gym and the playground and
Yeah.
such.
Oh, is that what's going
So,
on?
yes, so of course it's happening right now. So Dakota Alliance is here, is that right?
Yes.
Helping with
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
soccer, and then kids are in the multi-purpose room and some outside. Well, they're doing the grand rotation, So we're going to stay out of their way while they do that. And either Sam or Tara is going to come in and get us as soon as the kids are settled, which I think they just moved in.
Okay. Think of those science experiments that take a little bit of extra time, maybe materials, energy, that type of thing, that maybe in a 45-minute class period you don't have time to do with 30 students in a classroom, right? So the best place for those things to happen then is to be able to continue the learning outside of the traditional school day and teach those science concepts when students are in a more relaxed environment, if you will. They've had a snack in their belly and they're feeling more attentive. They've had a chance to run around a little bit outside and work off some of that energy and such. But the real key to after-school programming is to infuse learning, but still have a lot of fun doing it. And so you are all going to reach back into your inner 8-year-old's body. Think of yourself as an 8-year-old. And we're going to have a little science experiment here today. It involves water. It involves tin foil. I believe marbles. And some science concepts. So you have water, marbles, and tin foil. And one of you, maybe more of you, are going to walk away a winner. Some of us are just going to be learners. We're not going to be losers. We're going to be learners. Somebody's going to be a winner and somebody's going to be a learner. But it's kind of a good example to see if you can, while you're doing this today, think of doing it in a traditional classroom setting with one teacher, 30 students, and you can see maybe why this one didn't make the cut for what's presented in the classroom, okay? Still important concepts and things that kids are learning, but maybe a little more time intensive, resource intensive, and that makes for a great experiment during an after-school session. So we're going to be doing that. Anybody need, how far are we going to go? Is it just right outside? In the multi-purpose room, so not a distance. Thinking maybe, I don't know, yeah. Sam's out there ready to roll. It's just right outside this door, so we don't have far to go. Would you like to, or are we going to do the explanation out there?
Out there, I think.
Okay.
If you're able to take a chair on the students, you're welcome to do that. If you want to get on the lunch table, you can do that. Or we've got some just to observe also if needed. So. What age of students are we here? I'd like to see with a hand raise. Can you tell me what grade you're in?
Dave.
Second grade.
This is a second grader here at this table. Who do we have right there? What grade are you? First grader. Awesome. And purple is my favorite color. Tell me what grade you're in.
My name is McKenna, I'm second grade and I'm 7 years old.
That's McKenna. She's in second grade and she's 7 years old. All right. So, yes, please welcome our guests here.
My name is Ron.
Can I say my name?
What's your name? What's your name?
I don't know.
You know your name?
My name is Claire.
I don't believe you. What's your name? Okay. What's your name?
I've been there.
Charlotte and Harper. Harper's in kindergarten. Charlotte, what grade are you? Second grade. Awesome. Awesome. Do you know that Johanna was a teacher also?
Fourth graders, then I had second graders, and finished with third graders.
Guess what, guys? She was a teacher, and she still comes back to school. She still loves school. That's cool, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone, can I have your attention for just 1 second? Okay. Attention, please. Attention.
You already said that 3 times.
We have someone in our presence who is celebrating a birthday today. The guy with that camera right there, it's his birthday today. And he works in our department. His name is Tori. How about we sing happy? How old is he turning?
30.
8.
Whoa. I have to take
Yes, yeah. Older you get.
Can we sing happy birthday to Tori? Are we ready? Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tori. Happy birthday to you.
To the kiddos, but hello, I'm Miss Naomi. I'm the site coordinator today for CLC Extended Care. Okay, so we're going to do an activity, and we're going to be divided in groups of 4. So if you have a friend with you today, and a special friend, they're going to be part of your group, okay? Okay, okay? I will give the instruction once, and you listen. I will say the instruction again, and you think if you have any questions. Okay? All right. Okay. We have a few kids in the gym. That's why you. Okay. So each group of 4 is going to get 1 aluminum foil, and we're going to make boats. Has everyone seen a boat before?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Make sure it floats because we're going to put it in the water over here, and we will see which boat will float. And then if they do float, we will start putting marbles in, and we'll see which one will hold more marbles. Okay, this was the first time. I'm going to say it again. Okay, friends, this is we only get 1 piece of this can be a group of 4.
Probably just I need one. What did you do? What did you do? I think we should build a box with like this. Like look at
What were you thinking?
Can I just take
But it can be this
Okay, so we should go this way.
Are you ready? All right, you guys can go ahead and try and hey, work together, make it a boat.
Try to make it a boat, okay.
Hey, can you work? Yep, work together though.
I know how to make a paper boat. So how do we make a boat?
See if you can, what does the boat look like?
Like this? Tinfoil.
Okay, so
You take the tinfoil and you guys make
oh, you're gonna make it like that.
I'm gonna make mine. You should make it. No, I'm gonna do
Good idea.
Remember how to make this part together. These kind of cut it. Our boat is gonna be.
Wait, I think we have to add. I think we have more.
So every time we do the make something, no, you can't focus on.
You stay with your group.
You're doing good. You're making it all strong. Yeah. See, I like how you folded it over. That was nice.
And I'll try this side. You whipped it! Wait, now I can't.
But if it's
There's a tear right now. So we gotta be careful. See that?
Team, who's on our team?
I think it's. I know how to make a real bow. Yeah, we're making a cup, right?
All right, but remember we gotta put marbles in here yet.
Okay, first they have to crazy this and then they go bottom. No, the other way. That's what I was like trying to do.
Did it float?
Did it float?
Okay,
Yep.
let's see.
I think
Do we still have one more bowl? The float. Ooh, okay, let's see.
that might not.
One.
Oh, here's this one.
Are we able to bring them?
Me and Izzy did that together.
Let's see if it
Piece of steak. Piece of steak.
Table B, bring your bowl.
Yes, it is.
Oh, we're not touching. Okay, let's see.
That's rude to say. Wait, we have the Titanic. Can I have mine? My boat.
McKenna has her boat.
No. All these boats will float in the water.
Okay, anyone else? Let me see.
Where's your boat? Yeah. Is anybody sunk? No.
Not yet.
Oh no, one of them has water in
Is that
them.
everyone's boat? Okay.
Can we do that one?
Oh, this one's sinking already.
Yep.
Let's leave it. Okay.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Keep voice yourself over here,
That was
okay?
mine. Oh, that was shaking. That one died. Whose boat is that?
Ooh, it sunk. Okay. So 15, 16, 17. McKenna. I'll stop. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Table B with 18 marbles. Good job.